As a fan of Ninja Gaiden, I had high hopes for Itadaki's latest game, Devil's Third, especially when Nintendo picked it up and was publishing it for the Wii U. The game is no doubt full of technical issues and in many respects is a bad game, but like a cheesy B-grade film, it's starting to grow on me. Devil's Third opens with a worldwide EMP attack that wipes out every electronic and plunges the world into chaos. Responding to the crisis, the American government enlists the help of a convicted Russian terrorist called Ivan. How original. Basically, everyone in Russia is either Dmitri or Ivan. While there's some backstory to Ivan's life, the real highlight of the plot is the B-grade vibe. The fact Ivan is always running around shirtless amongst fully clothed American soldiers defines logic in a beautiful way. The corny dialogue, the fake accents, I'm drowning in cheese and I love it. Mwah. Also, as an Australian, I giggle every time they mention the bad guys as sod. For those not familiar with Australian slang, sod is a type of damper bread. So when they say defeat the sod, I hear defeat the bread, kill the bread, eliminate the bread.
What's the sword got to do with all this?
The box proudly boasts this game is East meets West, where they've taken a first-person shooter and fused it with a hack-and-slash game. What this means is you can beat up dudes with melee weapons and quickly change to your gun. There are some cool moves at your disposal like throwing your melee weapon or jumping at your enemies and killing them with one blow. Developers have also nicked Vanquish's slime mechanic, which provides a great way to shoot your enemies while escaping them or getting to the nearest cover without taking damage. But everything else is very pedestrian. 2-weapon loadout, quick grenade button, and a limit breaker called Imboku. The melee is perhaps the most disappointing aspect. It's cool to rush bad guys with a sledgehammer, but the game only offers light or heavy attack with no interesting combos or unlockable extra moves.
You disappoint me, Ivan.
Having said that, I still had fun with the combat because it's an action game that feels like an action game. Without mentioning any specific games, shooters these days have a nasty obsession with trying to make them feel like they're not a shooter. Usually they do this by shoehorning forced walking, quick time events, or long drawn out sequences where you look at things or talk to people. Aside from some waggle stick quick time events, Devil's Third is an action game. You shoot and slash enemies, nothing else. The boss fights, which are unremarkable at best, actually feel like boss fights. No long quick time events, actual bosses with a long health bar.
Hey! Lend a hand! If you're sober.
Of course, as I mentioned before, this game has a lot of technical issues and in many respects is a bad game. For starters, the graphics are really inconsistent. Some character models look great for the Wii U, while the others look like they're from previous generations. The aiming is very iffy and I never really found my groove. Also, the frame rate drops are very noticeable when the game is loading or when there's a lot of explosions. The first half of the game has some really drab environments, but in the second half it's like playing a different game and everything becomes more visually interesting. The music also has a wide selection of different instruments and I love the James Bond style song during the end credits.
Still alive, asshole. Big mistake. I agree.
The online component in the Devil's Third is actually quite ambitious. It offers the usual suspects such as Team Deathmatch and Capture the Flag. However, there's a few creative ones like melee only, herding chickens, and making a giant fruit smoothie. Yum. You can join clans, create your own base, then defend or destroy them in siege mode. There's a lot of depth to the clan system where you can make deals and hire other players. The matches support up to 16 players, but the game offers no voice chat, which is problematic for matches that require team coordination. I actually had a riot with the multiplayer. The variety of modes and the emphasis on having fun made me wish there were more people playing this. However, it's absolutely disgusting this full price game has microtransactions. What this means is you can spend real money on golden eggs to buy costumes, certain weapons, and other components. But Robert, they're optional. No. It's still disgusting and it's greedy.
They are defusing our bomb!
They're defusing our bomb!
Since I'm reviewing a Wii U game, I should talk about the controller options. You can play the game with the Pro Controller or the gamepad. You can switch over to the off-TV play at any given time by pressing the touchscreen. However, the game doesn't really take advantage of the gamepad, so I'd stick with the Pro controller.
Actually, that area was created for tourists and Western dignitaries for recreational purposes.
I'm down with that.
Devil's Third is such a hard game to give a proper verdict. It has numerous technical issues and the microtransactions are shameful. In many respects, it feels rushed and unfinished. But at the same time, I enjoyed its no-frills approach to the action genre. No lengthy QuickTime events or long walking sequences, it's an action game and nothing else. If you love cheesy B-grade films, you will love this game.